A long time ago in the land of Israel, there lived a man named Elkanah, a kind and faithful man from the town of Ramah. He loved the Lord and traveled every year to the holy place of Shiloh, where he offered sacrifices and worshiped the Lord Almighty. But Elkanah's household was not peaceful, for he had two wives, Hannah and Peninnah. Peninnah had many sons and daughters, and she took great pride in them. But Hannah, whom Elkanah loved deeply, had no children. Each year, when Elkanah made his offering to the Lord, he gave portions of the sacrifice to Peninnah and her children. But to Hannah, he gave a double portion because he loved her, even though the Lord had not yet given her children. This angered Peninnah, and she used every opportunity to mock and provoke Hannah.
Oh, poor Hannah, how lonely it must be, with no little ones calling you mother.
Hannah, why do you weep? Why don't you eat? Am I not more to you than 10 sons?
One year, when they had traveled to Shiloh, Hannah could bear it no longer. As everyone around her ate and celebrated, she slipped away to the tabernacle of the Lord. Her heart was heavy with sorrow. She knelt before the Lord and began to pray. Tears streamed down her face as she poured out her soul to God. She made a vow, saying,
O Lord Almighty, if you will look upon my misery and remember me and give me a son, then I will give him back to you all the days of his life, and no razor shall touch his head.
As Hannah prayed, her lips moved, but her voice was silent. The old priest Eli watched her from across the room. He saw her lips moving and thought she was drunk.
How long will you keep on drinking? Put away your wine.
No, my lord, I am not drunk. I have not had wine or strong drink. I am a woman in deep sorrow, and I was pouring out my soul before the Lord.
Eli saw the pain in her eyes and understood. He gently placed a hand over her and said,
Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked of him.
Hannah's heart was lifted. She wiped her tears, returned to her family, and for the first time in a long while, she ate her meal with joy. Not long after, the Lord remembered Hannah's prayer, and she conceived and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, saying,
Because I asked the Lord for him.
Hannah was overjoyed, but she did not forget her promise to the Lord. When Samuel was old enough, she took him to the house of the Lord in Shiloh. She found Eli the priest and said,
My Lord, I am the woman who stood here praying to the Lord. I prayed for this child, and the Lord has granted me what I asked. So now I give him to the Lord. For his whole life he will belong to him.
Eli took Samuel and raised him in the house of the Lord, where he grew in wisdom and in favor with God. But God was not finished blessing Hannah. The Lord gave her more children, 3 sons and 2 daughters, because she had been faithful. And Samuel, he grew up to become one of the greatest prophets of Israel, leading the people back to God. Hannah's story is one of faith, persistence, and answered prayers. No matter how hopeless things seem, God hears, He remembers, and He answers. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful Bible stories and animations.